I recently watched the 4-part miniseries called The Night Begins to Shine, and today I'm going to be reviewing it, talking about what's good, what's bad, and if you should watch it or not. If you were unaware, there was a previous episode called 40%, 40%, 20%, and that had all this really cool stuff involving a song called The Night Begins to Shine. I highly suggest watching that before watching this 4-part special, because if not, then you would be very confused. But anyway, let's talk about the story of this 4-part miniseries. Is it any good? Chapter 1 synopsis is that Cyborg becomes trapped in the alternate reality of Night Begins to Shine with a dragon who wants to steal the song for his own evil purposes. Now, this is a synopsis only for chapter 1. There are a few different plots throughout the entire miniseries, but this is the basic overall plot. Cyborg gets trapped, he has to defeat a dragon, he has to use the song The Night Begins to Shine. It's basically what you expect, and if we're talking just about the story and nothing else, this is very basic. I wouldn't call it cliche, I would more say it's just expected. Like, if you do decide to watch this miniseries, just know that the story does become a bit predictable. You know the general direction the story will go, and that is a bad thing. However, simplicity is not always terrible. There were some parts in this miniseries story where I didn't know what was coming next, but by chapter 2, I basically knew exactly how it was going to play out. Don't go into this miniseries expecting much in terms of story. Next up, let's talk about the humor. I thought this part of the miniseries was really weak. There weren't many jokes thrown in there, and if they were jokes, then I didn't laugh at them. But I'm sure some of you will enjoy the jokes in this miniseries. In my opinion, I don't think it was actually focused on the comedy, and instead it just worked more on the story. Even though the plot was basic, the writers definitely spent more time on that than writing comedy. And now to talk about the style of this special. It is clearly the best part about the miniseries. I mean, this is why we liked the episode before. However, that wasn't the only reason, because you need to have a good story along with a good style. Early on in this miniseries, it switches back and forth between the normal Teen Titans Go world and the Night Begins to Shine world. So you see some minutes with Cyborg, and then the other half is the rest of the gang trying to get Cyborg out. There's no doubt about it, the Cyborg parts are real eye candy. It's straight out of the 80s, and there are a lot of really cool things to see in there. However, it was a little annoying that we constantly got switched to the normal Flash animation, but that's how the plot went, so you can't really complain. The best episode in this miniseries was undoubtedly Chapter 4. I'm not going to spoil exactly what happens just in case you haven't watched it, but it is the finale and a lot goes on in that part. But overall, if I have to describe the Night Begins to Shine special in one word, it would be underwhelming. I went into this expecting it to be at least a little above average. I mean, this was based on a really good previous episode of the show. Unfortunately for me, the humor fell flat, the story was way too basic for me to get immersed in it, and the one good thing about it, the style, doesn't make for a good series. Like, you can have a good style, but it's not a good episode if everything else is bad. I wouldn't call the Night Begins to Shine miniseries a terrible miniseries. Like, it's definitely enjoyable in some parts. I feel like if you really loved the previous episode, you will find some enjoyment in this. However, don't expect too much. If you go into this thinking, wow, this is going to be the best episode of Teen Titans Go ever, then you are going to be very disappointed. So in the end, I would just call it alright. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below to let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.